Hi, thank you for joining me today for day 5 of Scraptember 2023. Today's prompt is to use 6x6 paper pad, and at first I thought I don't have any 6x6 because most paper pads now are 6x8, but then I remembered I'd recently broken down my Simply the Best collection from Pinkfresh Studio because I was out of 12x12 papers and running out of embellishments, and remembered that did have a 6x6 paper pad which I put up on my shelf. So I grabbed that and that's what I'm using. So I'm documenting 2 photos from our recent summer family holiday to the Channel Island of Herm, and I printed these photos in 3x4, so 2 on a 4x6 photo paper using the Project Life app. And now I'm just going through the 6x6 paper pad and trimming off 1-inch strips from some of the papers, and I'm focusing on the blues and the sea greens from this because this was us standing waiting for the Herm Trident, which is the boat to take us back to Guernsey and get our flight home. So you can see I've chosen 4 strips for each of the photos and they're going to go horizontally across the page. And now I've grabbed my LE Studio pattern block stamp and I'm going to add some stamping behind those stripes just to break the strips up a little bit. So I'm going in with my Blue Pen Sketch ink, which I think works really nicely, and I've chosen the diagonal stripe stamp block. I just wanted to make it slightly longer than the length of the block, so I'm just matching that up, and I've stamped a second stamp across. So that's going along the bottom, and then I put 2 strips which I've distressed with my distress tool. I did that off screen, which I'm tending to do now so that I don't get the bits all over my desk make an absolute mess. It's got enough of a mess on it as it is, so it doesn't need that as well. And now I'm going in with the same stamp and using black soot. Now you can see that I didn't perfectly align that one, but it's fine because it's mostly going to be covered by the papers. It's just adding a different texture and dimension there in between those papers. You don't see it straight away, it's not obvious, but I know it's there and it really does add something to the layout. So I would highly recommend trying something like this when you're doing a strip layout like this. So I'm just bending those papers up slightly. As I say, they've all been distressed, and now I'm offsetting them against one another, having the stamp block underneath the first 2 and then between the other 2. So you can see they're all laid up nicely there and they fit perfectly next to that photo. So they're not all perfectly straight, they go up and down a little bit. I just wanted to create a little bit of movement there. And then I'll do exactly the same with the top. So I'm mounting the photo onto some Sticks 2 foam pads. These are the 25mm ones that we sell at Hey Little Magpie. They come on a massive roll and they're brilliant. So if you're in the UK and you're looking for some foam pads, I would highly recommend those. So I'm coming in now with, I think it's Salvage Patina, just to bring a little bit of that turquoise into the layout because all the papers that I've chosen are very cool tone and I wanted to bring this brighter blue in. So just doing exactly the same. So I've got the stamped strip across the bottom and then 2 strips of paper, another stamped strip and then 2 pieces of paper at the top. And once again, they've all been distressed along the edges with the Tim Holtz Distress Edger and then bent up on either side just to create a little bit of movement there. So once these strips are all down, I shall do exactly the same with this photo, add some foam pads behind it. Again, those 25mm Sticks 2 ones, and then get that stuck down onto the page. So now they're down, I can start embellishing, and this has really prompted me to go through my older stash, and I knew I had this Vintage Seas sticker sheet from Simple Stories from last year, and I thought that would work really nicely with these photos. So I'm just grabbing some of the pictorial stickers, not worrying too much about exactly what they are. Like I've got a whale there with a lighthouse and there's no lighthouse nor whale but I just thought it worked nicely. And then this boat one said sail away with me, which I thought worked nicely with the picture of Mum. At the top it says take me to the sea, and then I found that little one with the red anchor, so I added that there. And then this oar just simply says coast, and obviously we're on the coast, so I liked that. Now I'm just pulling that strip up and moving it down a bit. I felt it was a little bit too high against the photo, so I'm just moving it down ever so slightly, and I'm much happier with the way that looks. So these are the Simple Vintage Essential foam stickers, and I thought that the one that says together would work nicely, so I'm using that at the top there as my title. And then I also found another one that says My Happy Place, so I'm adding that to the bottom cluster. As usual, I'm trying to mirror what I do at one side with what I do at the other. So I've added those two titles, and now I'm going in with some labels which I've cut from the Set Sail printable set from Hey Little Magpie, and just adding those around the page, as well as some of the circular elements from those printables sheets. So I've got this camera one at the top, and then I've got a star at the bottom. So just mirroring everything, and I'm adding the epoxy Flair pieces to those to make them into epoxy Flair. And now this is a wax seal that I created previously. I just thought it would work really nicely as another circular element, so that's being tucked in next to the photo there with some black tangled twine behind it. And because I'm doing the tangled thread there, I'm going to add some again to that top piece. So like I say, just mirroring what I do on one side, not exactly copying, but just mirroring similar feelings in what I use at the bottom and the top. I hope that makes sense. So that's a lovely compass wax seal. I'm obsessed with these at the moment, so you will see them on almost every layout. And then, as I say, just adding some tangled thread up here as well. And there's nothing going on top of it because that sticker is nice and big there, so I didn't feel the need to add anything to it, but I wanted to get that tangled thread in. So I'm looking to see what else I can add. I just want to add a tiny bit of journaling at the bottom, just to say where we were in case I look in the future and can't remember exactly what we were doing. And then I'm just looking to see what else I can add. So I'm trying to think what I'm doing now. Oh yes, I had the date stamp underneath that journaling, and then I spot my seam binding on my desk, and I really want to add some of this. Now normally I would tie this through a tag or something, but I decided just to add a fold of it to either of each of the photos, and I really love how that works. It's just a silver grey, and it just adds a little bit of movement and texture to each of those photos there. So first of all a piece at the bottom, and then coming into the top with another piece here, and it just layers really nicely behind those photos. Like I say, just adds a bit of something to the layout. And I'm very proud of myself because there's no mixed media watercolours on this. There's no watered down inks. I'm trying really hard not to do that on every single layout. So instead I'm going to come in with some little ribbon tabs and add those behind the photo. Just one at the top, and of course because I've done it at the top I'm going to add another one at the bottom. And then I go through my drawers to see what else I've got on my desk, and I've got the little epoxy dots, resin dots, sorry, that we sell at Hey Little Magpie in our Bits and Pieces collection. So I had a navy blue one at the top there, and then a pink one at the bottom here. Then I found one of James's JD3DPrint wood words in summer, and I think that works really nicely with that word together. They're similar fonts that have been used, so those two work really nicely. So adding that there, and then just gluing down those resin dots. And then I want to bring some more black around the page. So first of all, using my hole reinforcer punch to add some of these loops. I just add 3. And then I'm going to come in with my enamel dots from Nuvo, the Nuvo Crystal Drops in black. And that's pretty much it. So please do check the description box down below to see everybody else who's joining in on this hop. There's a playlist. I'd love to know, let me know in the comments box if you've been playing along with Scraptember. I love these prompts because they're very open, but it really gets you thinking about what you can do, and it helps you use your stash and just gives you a starting point if you're not quite sure what you want to do with your next layout. So do let me know. Other than that, I shall see you again tomorrow for day 6. I can't believe we're on day 6 already. Thanks so much. Bye.